So this is a little painting I'm working on, and I want to read some stuff to you guys so you understand the difference in the different direct energy weapons or energy devices. You're going to find more information when you look up directed, because it's directed, it's not direct, it's directed energy devices. That's what you want to put in all your search engines. I posted on my post section burns on my leg. If you look at that one, it was a couple, 3-4 days ago. I don't remember. But I said that there's different types of dews that can do different things. And I noticed a lot of targeted survivors who are being harmed by these weapons are confused about which ones do what and how they work. And a long time ago I said I was going to start making these, so I'm going to try. Anyways, you can stare at this cool little mountain while I read. And what prompted this is I was watching a guy on YouTube looking at crazy TikToks. I'm not on TikTok, but I like watching the compilations. And he does a lot of stuff about like flat earth and all the crazy stuff that's happening in the skies, and drones turning into airplanes, which I've documented extensively and posted on my channel. Anyways, one of the videos showed, or one of the TikToks on his video showed that a manager at, I don't know if it's some big chain retail store like Target or something like that. I don't know where he worked. He was there by himself, and he heard somebody speak. And he looked on all of his cameras, and there was 16 monitors, 16 cameras all over the store. And he was flipping through them trying to see who was in the store, and only some of the lights were on in the store. And he's like, no one's in here, what is going on? So he starts walking around. He's like, hello, who's here? I'm not afraid of you. You need to just come out or whatever. And so he's walking around the corner, and he's like, well, no one's here. I don't know what I just heard. We do. That's the voice of God weapon, right? Everybody knows about that. So he turns around, and on the video, he turns around and then freaks out, screaming, goes running back to his camera monitors and starts flipping through it trying to find where he was in the store. And he looks and finds that you can see some sort of, it was a ball of energy that grabbed the back of his hair and flipped his hair and touched him. And it freaked him out. That's what freaked him out. So he's thinking somebody's in the store, somebody just reached out, grabbed him, and touched him. It didn't. It wasn't a person. It was these weapons. So that happens to me at home a lot. I have really long hair, so I don't put it up because it's really heavy. So I do half ponytails. So they'll like to give the sensation of it being grabbed and pulled, like this little half ponytail I put on the back of my head. And then this is also how they do the remote graping. So I'm going to explain to you which directed energy device causes touch sensation and vibration. Other ones can cause vibrations as well, but how that guy was touched and his hair grabbed, pulled, and flipped was with the use of what they call mid-air ultrasound mid-air ultrasound haptics. So, I'm going to read to you, and I might mess this up because I'm really tired. I've been getting attacked really long for just relentlessly for days, lots of pain. So those of you watching to find out how I'm doing, that's how I'm doing, and may God forgive you. And you better stop because you have no idea what's coming for you when he's tired of your crap. All right. So I put in my search, what directed energy device causes touch? And here's what it says. It says, yes, there are directed energy devices that can cause touch sensations. These devices are largely in the research and development phase and employ different mechanisms to achieve this effect. Okay, well, we all know they're not in research and development phase. That's a bunch of BS, but whatever. Okay, so the next thing it says, one of the most promising technologies is mid-air ultrasound haptics. This uses focused ultrasound to create sensations on the skin without direct physical contact. Did you get that? Pause it and rewind if you didn't, because I'm not repeating this because I'm tired. So here's how it works. Focused ultrasound. An array of ultrasonic transducers emit ultrasonic waves that are focused to create a localized point of pressure on the skin. This focal point can be controlled in terms of its position and strength. So the next bullet point on here, it says modulation for sensation. Modulation means, mixing it up, how they tweak the device to create different sensations. So it says the skin is not particularly sensitive to a fixed focal point. To create a perceivable sensation, the ultrasound energy at the focal point is modulated. So how do they do that? They call it amplitude, like amp, like an amplifier. Crank it up or down. Those of you who are musicians, play guitar amps, violin amps, stereo people, amps. You know what amps do. Those of you who don't know, look up stereo amplifiers, stereo equipment amplifiers, or musical amplifiers. So they call it AM, amplitude modulation. This involves varying the intensity of the ultrasound wave at the focal point. The next bullet point is they call LM, lateral modulation, and they call it spatiotemporal. You can look up what that means. So spatiotemporal or lateral modulation. This involves rapidly moving the focal point along a small trajectory on the skin. This rapid movement stimulates mechanoreceptors, specialized nerve endings in the skin that respond to touch, pressure, and vibration. I don't know if you guys saw pictures of my ear where they hit my ear in the one spot, like relentlessly, and it bleeds and heals and scabs over. And then eventually now there's just a perfect circle, or like a half circle. You can't really see the full circle, but you can see the half circle that's been carved into my skin by them moving this focal point along there and burning it. But that's with a different weapon. But I'm talking about the nerve endings. They hit where the nerves go. Like when they hit that spot, it's excruciating, because this is just for pure torture and sadistic fun of these psychotic NZs from World War II who are still running these quote tests. They can also create textures and shapes by rapidly moving the focal point or using multiple focal points. More complex sensations like lines, circles, and even virtual textures can be simulated. Do you hear that? They use multiple focal points, more complex sensations, to create more complex sensations like lines, circles, and even virtual textures can be simulated. By virtual textures, they mean like you can feel like you're being touched by a, I don't know, like a fork. You're being stabbed by a fork, or touched by a hand, or pushed by one finger, or rubbed with sandpaper, or touched with, denim fabric, or really soft, silky fabric. That's what they mean by textures. So here's what they say the potential applications are of this weapon, why they designed this weapon or device, as they want to call them, not weapons, because we all know the CIA never ever makes anything and weaponizes it, right? They don't do that. Wink wink. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so potential applications: virtual and augmented reality. This would enable users to feel virtual objects and environment without controllers. For gaming, adding a new layer of immersion to games. Like, remember when they first came out with Rumble Packs? Well, when they first let us start using Rumble Packs, it's that without the Rumble Pack. Or, yeah, they really wanted to get crazy with games. You could actually feel feel what it's like to get shot or stabbed. I mean, that hurts. It hurts really bad. I've experienced both. For medical training, providing realistic tactile feedback during simulations of surgical procedures and or other medical tasks. So they can torture you without actually touching you to ask you how bad it hurts. Human-computer interaction. This is another one you want to write down to research, or if you're Googling or putting whatever search engine you use, this is one term you're going to want to know. HCI, human-computer interaction. Creating touchless interfaces where users can interact with virtual buttons or controls and receive tactile feedback. Remember, everybody was talking about smell-o-vision in the 90s? Yeah, this is touch-o-vision, literally. And it's already here and working and using, except they don't use it for cool stuff. They use it for torture. Then they go on to talk about research and development, which we all know is BS because it's already here and they're already using it, and they've been using it for decades. But I'll read what it says anyways. So companies like Ultraleap, that's ULTRALEAP, Ultraleap. I have not looked them up yet. If anybody wants to and put in the comments, that would be great. They are at the forefront of developing mid-air haptics technology. Their technology utilizes phased arrays of ultrasonic speakers and algorithms to project tactile sensations directly onto the user's hands. So I also posted something about how they can rumble your house, vibrate your floors, and make speaker walls in your house. That's not just solely for noise harassment. The speakers are used for this touch weapon. So while some directed energy devices, such as the active denial system, that's the ones that they disperse crowds with, it uses millimeter waves to generate a heating sensation on the skin. These are generally not considered, quote, touch in the conventional haptic sense, as they are primarily designed for crowd control. I should have kept reading rather than talking, and cause pain rather than stimulating various textures or forces. So once again, I said that there's multiple types of these devices. The type, the way they vary, is what waves they're using. And waves are sound. I'll make a video about that too. And these are in the light ranges that we cannot see, but we can feel them. Our bodies can feel them and pick them up. So again, the active denial system, that's what you want to look up. That's what everybody's calling getting microwaved or cooked. We want to get off the term of being microwaved, because people will picture in their head, if they're able to, a microwave that they throw their frozen dinners in to cook it. They don't use microwaves. They use energy waves called microwaves. So again, you're going to want to research active denial system if you're getting cooked and burned and have severe pain, because that hits on your nerves, and it doesn't go very far into the skin, just in the top nerve layer to make it hurt really bad. So active denial system uses the millimeter waves. The mid-air ultrasound is a different type of wave. Haptics that creates touch is a different type. See, ultrasound, microwave. These are two different types of directed energy devices. Let me know in the comments if you want to know more, what other types of questions you might have, if you want to learn about more devices, or what you want to know from me, and who develops these and who is using them. I'm trying to get out information besides all the usual stuff that we already know, and I'm trying to get off of posting evidence of the gang stalking, because I'm over those people. I don't care, although I am going to keep documenting just to show and prove, because this stuff's not going to last too long. There's too many of us. It's happening to too many people. There's too many inhumane boots on the ground. Those inhumane terrain teams, or human terrain teams that they use. Did you hear that crack? That's my TV up there getting hit. That's hung on the wall. So I'm trying to get away from that, and I'm wanting to get into teaching other targeted survivors that are targeted by these weapons and being tortured by these weapons about what they are, how they work, and which ones they're using on you, so that you can figure out who's doing it, who may have the devices. Yeah, because each one of us have we all have the same story, right? And there's really only 5 different scripts for the gang stalking. They'll personalize it for you, like if you're, more focused on color or numbers or whatnot. But there's only so many directed energy devices that they can use, and only so many of them can be packed on your back or handheld or put in a, enclosed van, which I'm followed by fake landscaper vans, or enclosed trailers that are unmarked with, fake plates or temporary plates, followed by a obvious cop in a unmarked car, or a, car that they get out of, is it compound? I'm getting tired. When they do a drug bust and, lock up your car, they'll just take one of those cars randomly to follow these trucks, because they always go in pairs, right? When you're getting followed. At least for me, they're always in 2. Anyways, I hope you found this helpful. So if you are getting sensations of being touched, your hair pulled, graped, poked, prodded, I'll also get sensations of water dropping on my skin. Like I'll be standing at the sink doing dishes and go to turn around to grab something off the stove, and it'll feel like water has dropped on my foot, even though I have slippers and 2 pairs of socks on. It's totally impossible, but they do it anyways. And for me, knowing what it is makes it easier to deal with. And then you also know where it's coming from and that you're not crazy. None of us are crazy. This stuff is real. They really have made it, and they really are using it. So once again, please leave me comments and likes and shares. I would really like to see some activity on here if I'm going to be taking the time to do this, because it's extremely difficult for me, as I just really just want to curl up in the corner in fetal position and pass out. But I want to help save people. I want to give people hope. Do not give in to the unaliving. Don't do it. Do not do it. If you need somebody to email, text, call, whatever, there's so many of us out there that are available. You are not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Talk to you guys later.